Hi, this is Jack Godfrey, and this is Intermediate Qigong. In today's class, we're going to be focusing on stances, what's going on with our feet in the various movements within the open and filling the 8 vessels. So, horse stance, half horse stance, bow stance, twisted stance, empty stance, dotting, C-stepping, task walking, all this stuff. And we may get through only a few of these, in which case we'll connect up next time as well. And now, let's get on with the class. As always, we start out with some warm-up movements to get the muscles a little bit relaxed and a little bit flexible so that we're ready to move into the various movements that we're going to do. So we're going to start with shaking the 9 gates. Your hands are wet. Shake the water off your hands. And so you get the elbows, the shoulders, and the wrists moving. And then we add in the knees, the hips, and the ankles as well. And then a twist of the spine. We turn, look over the shoulder, and we come back to the front. And we turn and look over the other shoulder, a good twist in the spine. So the 9 gates, the elbows, the wrists, the shoulders, 1 set of 3. The knees, the hips, the ankles, 2nd set of 3. The lower back, the ribs, the neck, 3rd set of 3. And we come to the pause here. Should have some tingling going on in the hands, a little bit of color added to the palms. And this is us getting the chi out to the extremities, warming up our hands, warming up our feet. We're going to draw that chi in to the brass basin. And now we're going to continue warming up our torso. So we shift the weight onto the small triangle, the front of the feet. We shift the weight onto the large triangle, the whole foot. And when we do this, we keep the feet flat to the floor. So small triangle, big toe, little toe, and the ball joint. Large triangle, big toe, little toe, heel. So you inhale, a dragon's back, you lift the ribs, you lift the chin, you lift the tailbone, we lift the arms. A turtle back, we drop the chin, we drop the ribs, we tuck the tailbone in, we look down. So inhale, we look up with a dragon's back. Exhale, we look down with a turtle back. So inhaling, we come up, and exhale, we come on down. And we'll do 1 more of these. All right, and now swinging the dragon's whiskers. You want to move the feet a little wider apart here. Yeah, so shoulder, ribs, hip, ankle, all in a pile. And now, same happening over here with the feet more or less parallel. So shaking the dragon's whiskers. Turn to the side, let the hands come around like so, and then we swing them to the other side. So this is cleaning the dragon's whiskers or swinging the dragon's whiskers. So turn the head, look over the shoulder. And we'll do a couple more here. And we come back to the front. So swinging the dragon's whiskers. Next one we're going to do is a variation on crescent moon. So you put all the weight here. Turn this foot. You can keep the toes up. And you bring this hand here. This hand here over the bottom ribs. Thumb on the sternum. Hand just touching the bottom ribs. Bring this hand up. And we push while pushing this way. And we're stretching this side of the body. And then we come to the center. So the feet are parallel. Shift the hands. Turn this foot now. This hand, thumb on the sternum. fingers touching the bottom ribs. We come up like so, and we push to the side. We come around again. And once more. And we come back to the center. So now we're going to pull down the heavens 3 times and then start our way through the open and filling the 8 vessels with focus first and foremost on what's going on with our legs and our feet. So we pull down the heavens, gather the chi from the earth, reach up to the heavens, stretch the hands up and away, and we draw the chi down in to the brass basin. All right, so now we're going to have a look at the various stances that we're using. And however, to begin with, we want to start with our narrow stance. So the feet are parallel, and the outside of the feet, outside of the hips, one above the other. So the legs are coming straight down out of the hips and into the floor. And the feet are parallel. And so there's a couple ways you can get the feet into position. So bring them right close together. Turn the feet out about 45 degrees and then bring the heels out so that they're behind the feet. So the feet are now pointing straight ahead. Shift the weight to one leg. Lift the toes of the other leg. Lift the heel. Turn the heel around and you want it to just about touch the ball joint of the other foot. Lift the heel, lift the toes, so this leg is on the ball joint. Swing the heel around so the feet are parallel, and this is the space we're looking for. So this is the narrow stance. Now let's check it out with the other leg. So you put the weight on this leg. Lift the heel, lift the toe. We're on the ball joint. Now swing the heel towards the ball joint of the other foot and let it come down. And you can have a look and go, well, it's just about touching, and just about is good enough. So lift the heel, lift the toe, so we're resting on the ball joint of this foot. Swing it back, put it down, the feet are parallel. And this is our narrow stance. Knees are softly bent, belly buttons pulled in. Grab the top of the hips, push down with the thumbs, tuck the tailbone into the body, pull the belly button in, so you're engaging the muscles in the abdomen and in the lower back. So this is working our way up from the feet, making sure we have a good solid foundation for whatever we're going to be doing with our hands. And so for all of the different stances that we're going to be talking about, the knees are slightly bent, the belly button's pulled in, the tailbone's pulled in, and the feet are somewhere all over the place. Now, and now we're going to look at 7 stars, press the earth. So for this guy, we start in horse stance. To get there, we go through a couple other stances to begin with. The next one is stacking the bones. So we step out to the side, and you want to have, here's how you know you're in the right place. So you got a broomstick against the ribs, against the hip, against the ankle. This is the stack of bones. This knee's bent, this leg straight. The feet are parallel to each other. And that's the stack of bones. And then we come over here and see if the same thing is happening. The feet are parallel, pointing straight ahead. This knee's bent, the hips over the ankles, the shoulder and the ribs are over the hips, which are over the ankle. And this is the stacking of the bone stance on this side. Now let's look at it from here. There's not much to see from the side. So just that everything is stacked up, shoulders over hips, hips over ankle. And then here we are on the other foot. So stacking of the bones from the side. And now we move from here into horse stance. So feet are parallel. Turn the feet out about 45 degrees. Turn the heels out behind the foot, each foot. So now again, the feet are pointing straight ahead. We tuck the tailbone in, we pull the belly button in. Horse stance, you lower down, keep the shoulders over the hips, the knees come forward over the toes. And so now we're going to move into 7 stars, press the earth. So shift the weight to this leg. Take this foot, turn it so that the toe points to the big toe of the other foot. This knee is bent, this leg is straight. The hips are pointing more or less straight ahead. You don't want to turn the hips because that's going to cause a twist in the knee. You lower down as much as comfortable. And now keeping the hips still, turn the ribs, turn the torso, bring the hands up. So this is 7 stars, press the earth. This knee is bent, this foot's straight ahead as much as possible, and we lower the hips down. So let's have a look on the other side. So you shift the weight over here. So this is horse riding stance. And we're here like so. Take this foot, turn the toes, and you're trying to get the toes of the back foot pointing towards the big toe of the other foot. Push into this heel. Lower the hips down. Keep the hips facing forward. You don't want to be twisting this knee. And now you would carry on from here. So you turn the ribs while the hips stay still. Turn the shoulders and the hands come up here. 7 stars, press the earth. Bend this knee as much as you're comfortable and lowering down. As you lower, you may have to move this foot back a little bit. The key is push into the back heel. Keep the back leg straight and keep the hips from twisting this knee. Now let's look at it from the side. So we're in horse riding stance here. Shift the weight here. So we're all the weights on this leg. The back foot, lift the toes, pivot on the heel, and have the toes of the back leg pointing to the toes of the front foot. The hips don't turn. We push into that back heel. The back leg is straight. There's no twist in this knee. And now, keeping the hips stationary, turn the abdomen, turn the shoulders, bring the hands up. 7 stars, press the earth. And now, just for completeness, we'll turn around and you'll get a back view. So we're here in horse riding stance. Shift the weight here. Take this foot, pivot on the heel, have the toes point to the toes of the big toe of the other foot. This leg is straight, press into the heel. This leg is bent, lowering down. Keeping the hips stationary, turn the ribs, turn the torso, and bring the hands up. 7 stars, press the earth. All right. And now we're going to move on to divide heaven and earth and look at the footwork involved in this one. So divide heaven and earth. Similar setup to 7 stars, press the earth, but it's different. You start in the same place. Horse stance, more or less. The feet are parallel, wider than the shoulders. And now we shift all the weight over here. So you bend this knee, keep this leg straight. And now what's happening is we lift the heel of this foot. Turn the knee inward so the sole of the foot is pointing that way. You bend this knee, this one lowers down. So that's the beginning of the, all right. So we're here and we're here. And then keeping the hips stationary, you bring the hands up and the hands down. And you lower down as much as comfortable. One of the key points in this guy is we have the hips over the ankle, the knee is bent, and we're not twisting the knee, which means the hips are not moving when we're turning the torso. So let's have a look at this again. Horse riding stance. Shift the weight. So this is stacking the bones over here. Keeping this leg stationary. We're not going to twist the knee at all. Take this back leg, the leg over here. You lift the heel and then turn the sole of the foot away. Bend this knee. This knee is already bent, but this knee is pointing straight ahead. This guy is pointing this way to the side. The hips stay stationary. No twisting in the knee. And we lower down here as much as we are comfortable with. Eventually, you're going to get about a fist width here between the legs. And we're here like so. Divide heaven and earth. Let's have a look on the other side. Shift the weight here. So this foot is pointing straight ahead. This foot at the moment is still pointing straight ahead as well. This knee is bent, this leg is straight, again, for the moment. Now, lift this heel. Turn the sole of the foot. Keep the hips stationary. And you want to lower down. So this knee is bending, this knee is bending, and we're getting down. And there's about a fist width between the foot, the knee, and the leg. So again, we come over here. Knee is bent, leg is straight at the moment. Lift the heel, turn the sole of the foot away, and lower down, keeping the hips stationary so there's no twist on this knee. Turn the torso and look this way. The back leg, bring that hand up high, bring the other hand behind the body. And as you lower down, you may find you have to adjust this leg a little bit. And so we're here like this. Then we come back to the front. So that's divide heaven and earth. Now I'm going to do it straight ahead as well. So we're here like so. In horse riding stance, shift the weight on this leg. Turn this, shift the weight here. So this leg, I have a stack of bones. The back leg, I lift the heel, turn the sole of the foot away, bend this back knee, and lower down. The hips are pointing this way. We turn the torso, keep the hips still. This hand comes around behind the back. The other one comes up. And we're here, looking to the side, lowering the back knee as much as we're comfortable with. And we hang out here. Divide heaven and earth. Next one is standing in ba to press the two poles. We have a different stance for this one. Of course, every one of them's been different. But for standing in ba, in pressing the two poles, the standing in ba part is the leg work. And so for this guy, we're in our narrow stance. Recall, heel touches the big ball joint of the other foot, swing on the ball joint so the feet are parallel. And now, standing in ba, you turn the toes towards each other. They don't need to touch, but again, the knees need to be comfortable here. And you tuck the tailbone in, you pull the belly button in. And now, you lower the hips so that the thighs come together. And you want to make sure there's no stress in the knees. There's no twisting going on. And so this is standing in ba. You bring the hands up and you press. This is pressing the two poles. So let's have a look from the side. So the feet are parallel. We're standing in that narrow stance. Heel touches the ball joint of the other foot. We lift it up. So we're here, like so. Lift the toes, lift the heel, swing. Our feet are parallel. And now you pivot on the heels, bring the toes towards each other. They touch, they don't touch. The key is that they've turned inwards. However, the knees need to be comfortable, the hips need to be comfortable. And now you bend the knees and let the thighs come together. If they happen to do that, that's great. If not, well, that's fine as well. Pull the belly button in, tuck the tailbone in, protecting the low back. Standing in Ba. Press the two poles. All right, and now we'll have a look at it from behind. We're in the narrow stance. Turn the toes inwards. So they touch, they don't touch, as long as they're heading in towards each other. The knees are fine here. Tuck the tailbone in, pull the belly button in, lift the ribs slightly, and then lower down so the thighs come together, the knees come together, and then we cross and we press. Standing in Ba, press the two poles. All right, so the next one that we're going to look at, and probably the last one for today, is twist like a rope. So we're going to do this one facing straight ahead to begin with, which is where we're going to end up. But, so first of all, standing and twist like a rope. All right, let's start again. Twist like a rope is the next one that we're going to be working on, and probably the last one for today. We have a few more left after twist like a rope. So to begin with, we want to be in our horse riding stance yet again. So we're in the narrow stance. We turn the feet out. We turn the heels out. We turn the feet out. We turn the heels out again. So this is horse riding stance. So shoulders fit within the feet with space on either side. So it's double shoulder width, roughly. But the key here is we can't quite get hips over the ankle. Now, twist like a rope. Take this foot, turn it in. Shift here, bend this knee. Take this foot and turn it around as much as possible. We lift the back heel and we turn this hip, again, making sure nothing's happening to this knee, and we look behind us and we continue to, so this is the twisting bit. And over time, you bend this knee and you lower it down towards the earth. This heel is lifted. The other one, there's no twisting going on in the knee at all. So twist like a rope, ignoring the arms. Key point here is the qua and the closing of the qua. So the qua is this part of the body where the legs come into the hips. There's this V, this valley on either side. And so when we're doing twist like a rope and many other movements that involve twisting, you're going to be turning into one of the legs. And this is called closing the qua. So this space is closing up. And this tends to make the movement more stable because the legs are coming together. And it's making this a stable region, less movement going on. So closing the qua, an important part of twist like a rope. So we come over here. So entering into twist like a rope, we're going to stand here to the side. And this is called, and we get into it by doing C-stepping, but there's a variation of what happens with the feet. So you have this foot pointing off to the side a little bit. You come up like so. And so C-stepping, we'd end up here. For this guy, we want to step forward, and now twist this foot. So, and we're got the back foot pointing off this way, you got the front foot pointing off the other way. So there's a twist in this guy. This knee is bent, this leg is straight at the moment. Tuck the tailbone in, pull the belly button in, lift the heel. Now take this hip, turn it into the front hip. Shift the weight over this front leg as much as possible, and we turn and look behind us. This back knee you can lower down over time. Now let's have a look going the opposite way. So take this foot, point it off to the side a little bit. Shift the weight here. So this is C-stepping to begin with, but rather than leaving this leg pointing straight ahead, we're going to twist it. So we're here, we step up, we land on the heel, turn this foot, shift the weight onto this leg, lift the back heel. We're closing the quad, we're turning the hips into this front leg, but we're not twisting this leg at all. And you lower down, and you bring the back hand up, the other hand behind the back, a big twist in the spine, and you lower down as you're comfortable. And we come on up. So the key point in this guy is there's no twisting going on in the knees. It's all in the hip, and we stop when you begin to feel any torquing of the knees happening at all. So let's look at it straight ahead. Turn this foot to the side. C step forward. So this would be a normal task walking, so you'd end up here, but we're going to do a different, so you C step forward, turn this guy as long as the knee is comfortable. Lift the back heel. Turn this back hip into the front hip without twisting this knee. This is closing the quad. And you lower down. You turn the torso, we face to the side. And you take this hand, you twist it around a rope. Take the other hand under the elbow, this hand palm down, and we turn and look behind us as we lower down. Now we're going to go this way. So we're here, this foot's here. We come forward. You turn the toes to the side, lift the back heel. So the hip, the ankle, the knee, all in one stack, no twisting of the knee. The back foot, the heel is lifted, the knee is bent. Take the back hip, turn it, close the quad. So you bring this towards this. This hand, so the leg that's twisted in front, that arm is high, and you're twisted. So little finger points toward you. First two fingers point up to the heavens. Other hand comes around, which causes a twist in the torso. You turn the head, you look behind. But once again, nothing going on in the knee. The hips, we're closing the quad, but the legs are staying untwisted. And that's ride the tiger. No, it's not. That's twist like a rope. So that's it for today. We have a few left, which we'll cover next time. We may review some of the ones that we've done as well. But we're going to wrap up with our 5 directions. So you step out to the side in the stacking of the bone stance. Shoulder, ribs, hip. That's the hip, that's the knee, the stack here. So remember, the ribs, the hips, the ankle, all in a stack, one above the other. Same thing going on over here. So the reason for the stacking of the bone stance in the 5 directions is we'll be reaching off to the side. And this gives us a stack of bone stance, gives us some side-to-side lateral stability. If I had the feet together and I was reaching to the side, I'd be more likely to want to stumble that way. With the wider stance, I can be here, have this foot, the heel pressing into the earth while I'm reaching to the side. The other part here, again, focusing on our stances, is we bring the hands forward, we shift onto the small triangle. You bring the arms back, we shift into the large triangle. So let's have a look from the side. Here's the stacking of the bones stance still. Now, the small triangle, big toe, little toe, ball joint, you shift the weight onto the toes. Large triangle, big toe, little toe, heel, you shift the weight into the heels. You don't want to go back so far that you're going to stumble backwards. It's just bring the weight into the toes, heels stay on the floor. Bring the weight into the heels, toes stay on the floor. So this is the stacking of the bone stance. So the beginning part of the 5 directions is forward, we're on the small triangle. Backward, we're on the large triangle. And we wrap up at the end with, on the small triangle, we come up, and on the large triangle, we come down. So that's the stances used in the 5 directions. The stacking of the bones, and then we're on the toes, we're in the heels. So let's work our way through the 5 directions. The 5 directions are forward, backward, reach to the right, reach up to the heavens, and we come down to the hip. Reach to the left, come down to the hip. And then we come to the center. Both hands come up. We're on the small triangle. Exhale. They come down to the center as we're on the large triangle. So inhale. Watch the hands come up. Exhale. Watch the hands come back down. Inhale. Watch the hand rise up from the side and down to the earth. Inhale, watch the hands reach off to the side and down to the hip. And then inhale, we come up. Exhale, we come on down. Inhale, we come forward. Exhale, we come back. Inhale, we reach to the side, we reach up to the heavens. Exhale, watch the hand come down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, both hands come up. We lift the ribs, we lift the gaze. Exhale, we take 2 times to come down here. So breathe in for a count of 4. Breathe out for a count of 4. Breathe in for a count of 4. And breathe out for a count. Inhale. And exhale. Now, small triangle, large triangle. Last cycle. And that's the class for today. So thank you all for coming.